Yo, people. This is E once again. Um, I thought I'd just share a quick conversation with you and myself, and it goes like this: hyper awareness is ruining your fucking existence of living. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. One thing I've just realized: being hyper aware, it starts to have diminished returns, especially as a man. It starts to have diminished returns at some point in life, man. Like and this specifically applies to my people who grew up in immigrant households, especially like West African households or Caribbean households or whatever. Just say immigrant households, innit? First generation immigrant households. Like, I'm pretty sure you've had a similar experience where growing up, because your parents were hyper aware or because your parents were a bit like cautious of growing up, of what's happening around them, you were taught to like don't stand out. You were taught to like fit in or be, you know, be fucking just be invisible essentially, or yeah, just don't stand out. And I'm here to tell you that like because you've now been told to just don't stand out, stay within the lines, stay within the lines. That shit, you that shit will ruin who you're trying to be or who you're meant to be in the forthcoming years. It won't ruin it, but it will dim your light, and you won't realize it potentially until it's too late. And luckily, because you found this video, it's not too late. Um, First and foremost, I'm gonna say this: being aware or being more aware than others, isn't necessarily a weakness in and of itself, but it can be a huge detriment to your potential. Um, you kind of need to. It's good to be aware, especially in this day and age, and in this world as well, because at the end of the day, this world is getting weird, and you kind of need to be about your wits. What's happening around you? Why is it happening? Start questioning this shit. It's good, and start questioning what you're doing as well. It's good. But there comes a caveat with that. When you start becoming hyper aware over and over again, you start questioning things about yourself. And you start asking, okay, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Or am I being too much? No, no, nigga, no, or no to whoever's watching this. No. The biggest thing I've learned is that the fear of being perceived is often to your own detriment of reaching self-actualization. See, because you were raised on the fear of being perceived as someone that you're not, it kind of gives you hesitancy, or a lack of authenticity about yourself. And that in and of itself kind of repels what you want in this life. You need to be to get to where you to get to where you want to get to, or to at least to self-actualize who you want to be. You need a high degree of authenticity. You need to be vibrating at a high degree of authenticity. And if you're not vibrating at a high degree of authenticity, you're not going to be able to flip in, go forward and attract the things that you want in this life. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like looking back at my life, at some of the things that I've gone through, from friendships to teams to even relationships, I can honestly pinpoint, and I can honestly look back and actually think, yeah, I fucked that up because I wasn't being my most authentic self. Simple. Or I was too scared of being perceived in a certain light, or in a certain way. When in actuality, your best bet is to really just be your most authentic self, and to really disregard what you've kind of been taught. Not in a disrespectful way, of course, but to disregard it. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that you kind of need to go back to that inner child, and you kind of need to just be there for your inner child and parent yourself and allow a space a space internally where your inner child can thrive and play and generate that authenticity within yourself, so that when you now let that shit shine through, you become more radiant. You become more radiant and you become more attractive. And that's where you start to vibrate at a higher level. I'm not trying to go down this whole manifestation, woody woo woo, the rabbit hole, because I'm not gonna lie, man, we've got too much of that. And yeah, to a degree, it works, but at the same time, it's like you got to stay grounded in reality. At the end of the day, like we live in the 3D realm, and you got to stay grounded in this reality. It's duality. You got to have some spiritual essence about you, and you also have to have some materialistic essence about you as well. When you combine the both, that's when you start to really you start to unlock what you've been trying to unlock for how many years, or for however long you've been trying to. So yeah, hyper awareness can often shun or dim your light in terms of vibrating at the highest frequency you can do, which is essentially, if you want to go back, if you want to dial it back, it's essentially your most authentic childish self. Yeah, yeah, it's your most authentic childish self, but also in a form which has reached maturity, and and the ability to be comfortable in your own skin without the fear of being perceived. Like, even now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is off the cuff. All I'm saying right now is just off the cuff, like, because it's times where, when you just sit down, you just think to yourself, like, and you just reflect upon, what's happening in your life, you start to realize that a lot of it has come from a fear of being perceived. And that's just how it is. Once you start to realize that a lot of what has held you back is your own fear and anxieties of being perceived, and you now start to erode, you now start to chip away at those barriers, at those layers, or you start to, peel back those layers, things in life kind of start to really just fall in place. And yeah, it may take longer than that. It may take longer than need be, because, well, I'm a firm believer that the universe will test you on things, will keep testing you on things for you to get to where you need to be. And sometimes it gotta take time. There's a saying: good food takes, cook slow. Good things take time, and that's just how it is. I'm 27 years old. I'm still living with my parents. I'm still trying to qualify professionally in an industry. I started boxing last year, 26. Amateur boxing, 26 years old. That's later than most. But at the end of the day, all you can do is just, all you can do is just show up and just keep going, and just be you, and be the best version of yourself as you can. And that's your most authentic, self-actualized self. So, yeah, remove the barriers and remove the blocks, the mental blocks of being perceived in a certain way. Because once you do that, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. Like, yeah, it's gonna feel uncomfortable for sure. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's gonna be a certain point where I'm gonna be on camera talking to you guys. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, but I'm ready for. I'm gearing up to get ready for it, man. Because at the end of the day, you know, you gotta be comfortable in your own skin, and you gotta be able to do away with the fear of being perceived. And it's not easy, especially in this day and age where fucking everything's under scrutiny, and everything's curated to a certain aesthetic. Everyone's looks maxing, everyone's being weird. No, not weird, but everyone wants to reach a certain aesthetic. There's always a certain image aesthetic that needs to be chased. But I digress anyway. I say all that to say this: take time and peel back the layers and understand who you really are in this life. And once you start to realize who you really are in this life, and I'm not gonna lie, it's uncomfortable because you're gonna have to go all the way back to your inner child, and you're gonna have to really like process the emotions that you kind of repress when you was a child, but you have to like interrogate them, and you have to like essentially parent yourself or be the parent that was there for you when you was a child. And then once you start to do that, you now start to develop this habit of being yourself, or at least feeling comfortable of being yourself in your own skin and being your most authentic self. Do you get it? So yeah, a lot of this. Oh shit, that's my timer. A lot of this shit comes from the fear of being perceived and being hyper aware. But I'll probably say do away with that, and bring about this whimsical, lackadaisical, or this whimsical, childlike aura about you. You're not really too focused on the past or the future, but you're just more in the present. And you're not really too focused on how you're perceived by other people, because you're now comfortable in your own skin, because you're allowing your childlike essence to flourish. Make no mistake though, there are some cruel people out there that'll try and dim that, and this is where having a strong mind and being authentic and firmly rooted within yourself comes from anyway. So yeah, man, I say all that to say hyper awareness to a certain degree will hold you back. Let go of that shit, move on forward, be your most authentic self, and remove the layers of your past, and you'll be surprised at what you can find. But yeah, this is just another convo with E. I'll catch you guys on the flip side in a bit.